folks, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry if I sound a little weird. I have been sick with a head cold the past couple of days, which is a bummer because I am off from work this week, so I had plans to do a bunch of filming and go to the gym and see friends, and I've just been staying home and taking lots of naps. But I do find myself feeling a little more out of breath than usual. So if things look a little different, if the reflections on my glasses look a little different, I have some new lights that my lovely husband got me for Christmas. I'll put up a photo of what they look like. They are battery operated. The tripods have a very compact base. I'll leave the brand information in the description box below if you are looking for some kind of like diffused studio lights. I can adjust the brightness, I can adjust the color temperature a little bit, which is really useful. I feel like I look a little washed out still, but I'm worried that if I go too warm, I'm gonna look like I have a fake tan. So I'm just gonna play with it. He did good research. He did good. Finding something that's battery operated so you don't have to mess with cords. The batteries are rechargeable, and apparently they're like a fairly standard like camera battery, so they use the same kind of battery as a lot of cameras that use batteries. I guess I'm filming on my old phone, so I can't speak from experience on that. But if you are in a compact filming space and you don't, if you have to set up and take down your filming rig and you don't want to mess with more cords than you have to, these are a good find. I'm just testing them out right. This is the first time I'm filming with them. I need to train myself not to look at them because they do get pretty bright. And I don't really know how long the battery lasts on a full charge. I suppose I could just read the instructions. But anyway, yeah, I'll have some fun playing around with some lighting that is more versatile than the clip lights I've been using before. So today I'm going to be talking about kind of reflecting on the past year, looking at my reading goals for the past year and like the various TBR projects that I had set for myself for 2022 and how I did with them. First, because I've been forgetting to mention this, I have a little post-it to remind me to mention that the HarperCollins strike is still going on. I have had the information linked in my description box, but I've been forgetting to mention it in my videos. They've been on strike since before Thanksgiving. What the workers are asking for is very reasonable. They have so much support, and it's very disappointing that the leadership of the company has not met them in good faith. Anyway, so I have in my description box, I have links to more information to learn more about the strike and the details of what they're asking for and what their process has been, and ways that you can support them, including how you can donate to their strike fund, and the do's and don'ts of supporting them via buying books, not reviewing books, etc. So first off, I'm going to go over what I had initially set myself some monthly reading goals to guide my TBR, and with everything that was going on pretty much by March of this year, I knew that like adhering to any kind of like TBR guideline was kind of really going out the window. So even though I structured these goals to be monthly, I kind of just calculated, okay, but how many books does that mean for the year? How did I do against the yearly number rather than the monthly number? So my goal was read 2 books for my existing physical TBR that I had acquired in 2021, read 2 nonfiction, 1 book from my Amnesia Reads project, 1 translated book, 1 ebook or owned audiobook, because I was kind of trying to challenge myself to see if purchasing ebooks was a good investment for me. Spoiler, it's not. Read 1 giveaway or gifted book, which I started a NetGalley account this year, so that became a much more urgent goal. And then to read 4 books in Spanish over the course of the year. So Looking at my average, in terms of reading 2 books for my existing TBR, yeah, on average, I was very much on track for that. For nonfiction, the goal was 24 books by the end of the year, and I've read 17. I might start one more before the end of the year, but I highly doubt that I will finish it. So not great. I definitely read less nonfiction this year than last year, but I think especially with world events, I was really having to be very picky with the tone of the nonfiction that I was picking up, and a lot of the stuff that I owned was a lot heavier than I felt motivated to pick up. So that's not surprising, but that gave me some good information as to what is a smart nonfiction purchase for me. Regarding my Amnesia Reads TBR, on average, I did read 1 per month. We'll chat more about that in a minute. I had a goal of reading 12 translated books. I believe I have read 10 translated books this year against my goal of 12. So that's not so bad. That's not so bad. I could definitely do better. I think that's a very reasonable goal to keep at, make another attempt to do that for next year. My challenge with that is I very much read genre I read a lot of genre fiction, so I don't read a lot of like contemporary or literary fiction or historical fiction. And a lot of translated fiction is in a genre that I just have no interest in reading. It's a lot of like based on true events, based on real people, a lot of hard-hitting historical fiction, and I'm just like, where's your fantasy? So I'm still, paying attention to nonfiction that's on my radar, and I'm trying to be better at incorporating that into my purchases, because I'm definitely more motivated to read the physical books that I have on my little TBR shelf here, because I get to look at them every day. In terms of the ebook or owned audio, that kind of became hard to track, because like I mentioned, I got a NetGalley account, and I found that getting my ebooks or sometimes audiobooks as ARCs through NetGalley, I actually did pretty good at reading those because they have a due date. They have a due date, they have the publication date, and then they have the archive date where you no longer are able to download and read it. And having that due date really motivated me to remember what digital copies I had and get to them in a timely manner. I found that in general, my ebooks and audiobooks are very out of sight, out of mind. Ebook purchases are not a good investment for me, except for romances, because I tend to only purchase a romance when it's not available for my library. Sorry, my eye is itching. It's because it's like a Kindle exclusive romance. And I tend to buy it and start reading it immediately. Anyway, I still have some existing ebooks that I want to remember that I have and to read them, because they are books I want to read. They're books that I downloaded from my dad's old Kindle library, and now I have them on my current e-reader. But this past year and that goal have taught me that ebooks and audiobooks are they're not good purchases for me unless there's something that I'm buying with the intention to start reading it right away. Similarly, as far as that goal of reading one giveaway or ARC or gifted book, I started that goal because I had some Goodreads giveaway books that had sat there for a long time, and I just wanted the motivation to make sure I actually got to them in a timely manner. So that having that goal helped, but I've definitely found that in terms of getting to those in a timely manner, the NetGalley format of having a due date, of having a day when I will no longer have access to them, that is significantly more motivating than having like a TBR goal list. And as far as the 4 books in Spanish, I've read 2 this year. I have started a 3rd one. This is Historias de Mexico. This is like a side-by-side bilingual book. So they'll have English text on one side and Spanish text on the other. I found this on Pango, I believe. So I don't think I'll finish it by the end of the year, but at least I will start the new year on a strong foot in that category. So in talking about these goals, I mentioned that I had some existing TBR projects that I was working on. One of them was my all of my acquired books from 2021. So all of the books that I acquired, either a physical copy or an ebook or gifted or whatever, anything that was still unread as of January 1st, 2022, went into this master list. So I started the year with 48 books, and I've done pretty good with that. I am down to 4 or 5 books. I'm down to 4 physical books. I have started The Talented Mr. Ripley. I also have an ebook copy of the Wild and an ebook copy of A Matter of Scale. I predict that I'm going to DNF A Matter of Scale because I did try to start reading it and I found it very textbook, very data heavy, and a lot of the reviews have reflected that that's the tone. You know, it's not a casual reading book, it's like a research book. Spoiler alert, for next year, I am including these, 4 books that are rolling over from the previous year. How many do I have? I'm starting 2023 with 55 books. So I'm gonna have to think about the rate at which I acquire unread books. Anyway, I think this is only going to be the second year that I've tracked how many books I've acquired versus how quickly or how capable I am of getting through that number in the coming year. So I'm not super worried about it. I'm not going to go on a hard and fast book buying ban. But I am going to just kind of keep an eye on how many unread books am I bringing in versus how many am I reading. Not just in terms of my new to me unread books, but in terms of my other TBR projects. Lovely segue. One of my other TBR projects is my Amnesia Reads project. I will leave a link to that video in the little card on the screen in the description box below. That's a project where I make a list of books that I own, that I know that I've read, but I really don't remember anything that happens, or I really don't remember my feelings towards them. It's either been a really long time, or I just wasn't in a great headspace when I read them. So my first round of Amnesia Reads, I had 15 books, and I got through the list. I DNF'd 2, and I decluttered 3, but the rest of them I got through. I got through the last one this past month. So keep an eye out for Amnesia Reads round 2. I have 12 new books picked out. That's exciting. So anyway, in terms of my various TBRs, I did good with the Amnesia Reads. My other TBR project throughout the year was series to continue. Hold on. Series to finish or continue. Let's see, in that, I will also link that video in the cards and in the description box. So in that project, I had 14 series, and I finished 6, and continued with 3 of them. But I also started a whole bunch of new series this year, so I don't know if I'll make another video about that one, but I have kind of kept a record of series that I've started that I'm interested in continuing on, just so I can kind of keep an eye on how many have I started versus how many have I actually finished, to kind of motivate me to not leave all these stories hanging in the middle forever and ever and ever. Yeah, looking at my list of 2023 series to continue, which includes series that are rolled over from that first list. I'm currently at 18 series that I'm in the middle of. We'll see how I do with that. overall, in terms of my goals, considering the year that we've all had, considering the this was you know, the first post-ish pandemic year where I've been back to work at a mostly full-time schedule. I say post-ish because, like, you know, COVID is still a concern. We are still testing and wearing masks at work. I work in a theater. Our work relies on indoor public gatherings, so nervous laugh. I'm on vacation. I've got like another 5 days before I gotta think about that again. This is like the first calendar year where I've been working as close to a full-time schedule since I basically picked up reading as a voracious hobby again. So there was a lot of just learning about my tastes, my moods, my spending habit. Not my spending habits so much as my acquiring habits. I don't think I'm gonna do like a monthly TBR goals like I did for last year. I do think I'm gonna have some goals kind of more for myself. I don't think I'm gonna make a whole video about it. Anyway, if you are somebody who sets bookish related goals for yourself, let me know how you felt in the description box below. Feel free to be vague about it, and definitely be kind to yourself. We're all going through a lot. Anyway, regardless of whether you make reading goals for yourself, I hope your 2023 reading year is fun and fulfilling. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I encourage you to go out into the world and be curious. I will have my social media and other places where you can find me in the description box below. And again, I will have links to more information about the HarperCollins strike in the description box as well. And I will catch you folks in my next video. Bye!